Mr. Elfenbein.
How we doing there, my buddy T-Lou?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm so glad you joined the podcast. For those who don't remember Elf, he was our preseason guest. We had all the picks in. The man who knows everything about basketball, the former Florida Gators assistant coach, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming back, Elf.
Yeah, how about that Utah Jazz pick? Huh? I bet you didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming. They really turned the season around, and obviously I was disappointed. My Nuggets, 10 games over 500, and they didn't make it. They would have been so much more fun to watch than the T-Wolves.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that, but I do think that, if nothing else, Donovan Mitchell should be the quote-unquote rookie of the year, considering this time last year he was watching the games at home at Louisville. So.
Correct. And Ben Simmons was already in the system training with NBA players, breaking down film, getting used to the travel schedule. So I agree with that 100%, that Donovan Mitchell, he better be the rookie of the year. And if he's not, at least they need to make it a co-rookie because he is too good to not get any type of award.
Absolutely. So what are we talking about today, D-Lou?
So the first thing I wanted to ask you was, out of the second round series that are currently matching up, which one is going to be your favorite to watch?
Ooh. You know, I really thought that it was going to be the Pelicans series. I really did. I don't know if they have enough. I don't know if they have enough gas in the tank to take them down. I really think that the Sixers series, I think, will be the most interesting one.
The one that I wanted to say was going to be the Jazz team, but without Ricky Rubio, they're not the same. They're not the same well-oiled machine. And Donovan Mitchell, I mean, that's going to be way too much on his hands. So I was hoping it was going to be the Jazz Rockets, but now I got to agree that 76ers versus the Celtics, I mean, I think that's a 7-game series.
Well, I think that you're going to have an opportunity to see some quality coaching in that series, more so than any other series. I think that you have an opportunity to see the value of good NBA coaching, because I don't think the Celtics are as good as the Sixers are right now. I don't think that they're as good, and I think Brad Stevens is a phenomenal coach, and if he outcoaches Brown, they have a chance. But I mean, the Sixers really do have enough to come out of the East.
Yeah, they're really talented, and I think the main thing is going to be fun to watch Horford versus Embiid, because Kelly Olynyk did a little bit of this, but I can't remember how much that Embiid really was guarding him. In terms of Whiteside, obviously, we trash him all year. All Embiid had to do was sit under the basket, but Horford's going to bring him out to the three-point line. And so I think the Horford-Embiid matchup is going to be really fun. I mean, he's a veteran, savvy all-star. So, I mean, Horford could win that matchup, and that could totally swing the series back in the Celtics' favor.
Sure. I would be willing to guess that you don't see Embiid cover Horford at all. I'd be willing to wager that they end up going with an Ilyasova guarding Horford, and then on the defensive end for the Celtics, they'll put Baines and whoever other big lurches that they have, and they'll just throw them at Embiid. But I love the idea of stretching them out in the pick and roll. Unfortunately, without Kyrie, I don't think you have to cover the point guard coming off the screen as hard as you would. If it was Kyrie, you have to cover him. He's an all-star. But I don't know. I think that Brad Stevens is going to have to pull out some really, really great schemes to win this series. And if not, then you're going to see the Sixers team advance and continue growing.
This is true, but I think Stevens can break out the schemes. I got Boston in 7. That's my pick for that series.
Oh, great. Well, in that case, I'm going to go Sixers in 7.
So the next one, this is going to be a fun one as well. The Raptors versus the Cavs, because I watched the Raptors so closely in the first round series, and what stood out to me most is these guys who have matured. DeLon Wright caught my eye. He's grown into his body. I mean, he played really well. They got a great bench. But the reality is it's all about matchups, and nobody on the Raptors can match up with LeBron. DeMar DeRozan cannot match up with LeBron. So I wanted to get your take on that series, because that one's going to be, another one that's going to be very close.
Sure. I don't remember, dude. Is DeMarre Carroll still in Toronto?
No, he's on the Nets.
Oh, because him and Jake Crowder have always been great LeBron stoppers of sorts. So I don't know if the Raptors need to match up with LeBron. I'm not sure that. I know LeBron just carried them through a series. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, but I think if I'm the Raptors, I want LeBron to score 40 points. I don't want LeBron to have 20 assists. Because I do think that the Raptors could let him kind of do his thing. But with Kevin Love scoring 12 points a game or something ridiculous, and Tristan Thompson is a train wreck.
He came back in Game 7, but yeah, he's been a trade wreck, man.
But that was a guy who no one remembers. He hadn't missed a game for the first few years of his career. He was a defensive stalwart, and now he didn't move well, and so I worry that if LeBron's going to do the same thing he just did for the Pacers, he's going to run out of gas, and it's going to look like the NBA Finals when we played the Spurs when he was on the Heat, and they just trounced us, and they just blew us out in 5 games. I think LeBron loses this series. I think Toronto wins this one in 6.
In 6, I like it. We'll move on to the next one. The Pelicans, you kind of touched on a little bit. So you think the Rockets, basically, without Utah having Ricky Rubio, I mean, the Rockets are probably going to win. They could sweep the Jazz. I mean, what are your thoughts on that one? What do you have on the pick on that one?
I think the Rockets clean sweep.
Yeah, without Ricky, it's just not the same team. And with the Warriors side, I mean, they blew these guys out so badly, the Pelicans, in Game 1, that I think Steph Curry's coming back next game. But I don't really see why. I wouldn't play Curry until they lose to the Pelicans or until they're up 3-0 and give him like one game to get his rhythm back. So I don't really get why he's coming back. But I think the Warriors are about to just destroy the Pelicans as well.
So I think the Pelicans will steal one. I don't think that they'll steal any more than that, but I do think that there's something to be said about getting Steph Curry's cardio back in and getting him in game shape and getting him back out there. So if you play him 15 to 20 minutes so that he can just get moving, I think there's value to that. What I saw, what's unbelievable is the idea that Steph Curry is so important to the Warriors, but when you watch Draymond Green, who when he goes for a triple-double, they are perfect.
Yeah.
They have never lost. I think that's an interesting stat because Draymond Green sometimes he's a third, fourth, and sometimes with Nick Young on the court, he's the 5th option. And really, he's so valuable to them when he can get the ball in his hands. And so I'd be curious to see what they do with him, especially if they face off against the Rockets, because Draymond Green can handle the ball well enough, and he might be able to help the Warriors when they decide to, stick a Ariza on Curry because of his length. So Draymond Green is my real dark horse pick. If the Warriors are going to get to the finals and win the finals, it's all on him.
He had 16 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in Game 1. God, that man can fill a stat sheet. And doesn't.
No kidding. He'd definitely be picked first overall in the JCC basketball. No doubt about it.
And so we'll wrap this up with 3 players that I wanted to talk about because I think this is just going to be fun, who, for lack of a better term, are just absolute trash teammates. We're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony, John Wall, and Hassan Whiteside because already their offseason is a joke. Their exit interviews. John Wall blasted his teammates, management, basically everybody except himself. Carmelo Anthony already said there's no chance I'm sacrificing to a bench role. That's out of the question. And Hassan Whiteside is already back on Snapchat joking about people cleaning out their lockers. God, I fucking hate that guy. So which of these 3 would you least want to be a teammate with?
Hassan Whiteside. It's not even close.
It's not even close.
I think that the other 2 guys you named, I think John Wall gives maximum effort when you watch him. I think that when players don't play with 100% effort, that to me is what drives me crazy. And Carmelo is 50-50. There are times when he cares and times when he doesn't. There's not a time I can remember watching Hassan Whiteside where I said, "Holy shit! When that guy wants to play hard, he's unstoppable."